This week is Parshas Bereshis, and we start again with the beginning of the Chumash. And I'd like to analyze the Chumash as a whole from a literary standpoint. Now, you have four basic themes in the Chumash, and they are interwoven. You have the history of the nation of Israel, starting with the, shall we say, patriarchs. It also includes Yosef and their antecedents, Noah and Adam, the first man. You then, going into Shemos, it becomes a story of the nation as a whole. Israel becomes a nation, and you have the important events that shape the character of the nation, and also you have a focus on the journey to the land of Israel and taking possession of it. Now, that's alluded to in the land of Israel is an important topic also in Sefer Bereshis, but you have a constant going forward theme, leaving Egypt and then sending out the spies, and you have two counts of the Jewish people. And then you have Moshe Rabbeinu praising the land of Israel and rallying the people to take possession of the land. And you also have a couple of wars, Og and Sichon. These are all the theme of journeying to the land of Israel. You also have a theme of the building of the Mishkan. It starts in Sefer Bereshis after the giving of the Ten Commandments, where you have what amounts to four or five, really five parshas. First you have two or three that are just HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving instructions how the temple is going to be built. And then you have the building of the temple. And after that, in Parshas, in the book of Vayikra, Leviticus, you have the initiation of the temple, as well as the initiation of the priests and the Levium into temple service. Then you have like a theme that is somewhat separate, and that is the theme of the law. Now, the real place the law starts is in Parshas Yisro in the book of Shemos, in Exodus, with the giving of the Ten Commandments. But you have, going back to before the Exodus, you have the commandments for Rosh Chodesh, and you have the commandments for the commemoration of Passover and the observing Passover. Now, but it's more in Vayikra and Leviticus, where you have many mitzvahs, and also in the book of Devarim, where Moshe Rabbeinu expounds on the mitzvahs. Now, in starting with Bereshis, the first parsha, the Parshas Bereshis, you have the introduction of God as the lawgiver, and he gives the first law specifically: you can eat from any tree in the Garden of Eden, except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Later on, he gives the permission to eat animals with Noah. You also have, concerning the Jewish people, the commandment of God to Abraham for circumcision, and you also have the beginning, the custom, shall we say, of the Jewish people not to eat the gid hanasi, it's a sinew in the leg, and to remember that during the battle with the angel, that the angel scored a punch. And you're going to have other mitzvahs like that are basically reminders and edus. But this is a separate theme from the history of the Jewish people. But as I said, they're interwoven. What you've got is, to use the Kabbalistic term, vessels with lights in them. So to speak, a light bulb in the light itself, or a candle, say an oil candle, where you have a cup with oil and a wick, and then you have the actual flame. And there's a little bit of a difference there in that the vessel is the nation of Israel, but it's kind of like they're a cross between the bulb or the cup, but it's like a diamond, in that the idea of a diamond is that it's beautiful, it sparkles with the light. What the light does to the beauty of the diamond or some other precious stone. But you also have the idea of the candle illuminates other things, and the Jewish people are supposed to be the ones who illuminate the law to the whole world. And you also have the theme of the development of the law, where it starts out with a few sparks here and there, and then you get the 10 Commandments, which is like a lot of bright rays, and then, so to speak, you have like a frosting on the light bulb, where the light becomes merged together, but nevertheless you can see it better. And what this is it's basically what amounts to an exposition of the laws. You have the laws of don't steal, okay? But then you're going to have different aspects of what constitutes different forms of robbery. You have the mitzvah to keep Shabbos, and theoretically you could derive all the Jewish holidays from that. But then you have all sorts of mitzvahs that explain the Jewish holidays as well. And one can go on with that. It starts out in Shemos and Vayikra, where you have the basic laws that are the 10 Commandments that are given directly by God to the Jewish people. After that, you have the laws that were given directly by God to Moshe, either while he was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, or when he went into the Kodesh Kodeshim, where you had it's in the temple. This is where the temple merges with the laws, where you have the 10 Commandments is in the Holy of Holies, and you have the the angels, the golden angels that are on the lid of the cabinet that contains the Ten Commandments, which God speaks to Moshe and he gives him all sorts of mitzvahs. Then you have Devarim, where it's basically Moshe elaborating on the mitzvahs, where he'll repeat some mitzvahs, and he puts his own spin on them, and he also adds some that are his own, but nevertheless they're elaborations of that which was given. And if you're going to learn the Chumash, if you can keep your eye on these four things, they tend to be interwoven with different books emphasizing different parts of it, but nevertheless they tend to be merged. In the case of Shemos, it's the adventures of the Jews as they leave Israel, but you have the adventures of the Jews as they leave Egypt. Then you have the legal themes as to various mitzvahs that are given in connection with leaving Egypt, but also the Ten Commandments, and then you have them expounded on in Mishpatim, and then you kind of have them expounded again with a different angle in Kitisa, which are mitzvahs. When you talk about Vayikra, it's mainly the mitzvahs. The bulk of the material is mitzvahs. However, it's interspersed with the narratives of the death of the two sons of Aharon, and you also have the issue of the inauguration of the temple. Okay? And if one keeps their eye on this, then the Chumash becomes a lot more clearer and a lot more understandable and a lot more beautiful. Thank you.